I'd wrap that show live stream on Wednesday night, 7:30. I just got this error message that this might not be being recorded. So I'm going to check that out. But what I'm going to do, because I feel like I just kind of got to get it out there. Who the fuck is this Zeno guy? I think it's important. I think it's time for us to sit down and have a chat. Because here's the thing, man. I really should check on if this is being recorded. Let me just make sure. Choose recordings folder. Yes, this one, and I'm still getting there. This is what it looks like when I work on a computer. Except it's much more boring. It's more like this. See? It's boring, right? And everybody wants to be fucking entertained these days, so... You know? Gotta do my monkey thing. Dance, monkey. I think we're gonna go raw recordings. And this one... Right on. I'm there, man. So, yeah, I got back from RapsCon. That was pretty dope, I guess, as they say. I had a really good time with it. I'm still working. All right, I'm done now. You want to see the intro again? Because I think it would be way cooler if I start this thing right. You want to? Live stream. What's up, Joe Solis? I got to meet a bunch of people in person this week down at RapsCon Indianapolis 2021. And it was fucking cool. Like, people are actually as great in person as they are over this virtual shit. It was pretty awesome. Shane's taller than I thought he would be. Joe, you're the size I thought you would be. But I didn't know that you would... Joe, like, I didn't know that you would be, you have an aura of kindness that surrounds you. And I think that's awesome. And then to be able to meet your wife, too, that was fucking awesome. And your dog is cool as hell, man. So, yeah, I'm going to get my wife doing more volunteer stuff with dogs. I'm going to push her into that thing, too. Because, shut the fuck up what? Joe just told me to shut the fuck up. See, I'm not, he can't punch me right now. So, I think I'm safe. At least for a little bit. So, yeah, RapsCon was awesome. Awesome party. The Raps VIP. Thank you, iBow, and everybody that was there. It was fucking amazing. I had no fucking idea that those RapsCon parties could be that cool. Yeah, you are the height that I thought. Yeah. You're like medium height or whatever. I mean, you're not a tall guy. You're like, I don't know, fucking call it average, I guess. Jesus, man. Are you sensitive about that? See, look. See, this is what I'm saying. Joe says, I'm the height you thought, because I was like, what's the problem? And then he's like, look at all this stuff. He's just telling me all these. Anyway, Joe, you better be nice to me. I'm in my home seat now. I don't like all that social shit. No, I mean, for real, like, I like talking to one-on-one people. Awesome. Could do it all day long. But all those little group things and group decisions and shit, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Like, well, where do you want to go to eat? This happens to me all the time. I told my wife, like I don't know, maybe it was a year ago. I go, I'm done with the lunch conversation. All right? I'm not having this, what do you want to have for lunch today conversation. So we started doing this. You go bring me food. If you want, you bring me food. You decide what we're having. And I will be so appreciative because you went and got it. And then I didn't have to have the fucking lunch conversation. Like, and the bigger a group gets in every setting, it becomes increasingly complicated and much more. It's like data overload for me. So I don't. Anyway, I don't want to. I don't. I'm not comfortable in that environment. That's my point. That's what I like about rapping, because I could fucking put headphones in, and then the rest of the world can fuck off, and I'm being productive at the same time. Sorry, can't take your call. I'm rapping. I like that part. I need to go on a rap trip. I'm thinking, so tell me if you want, and I'm not going to say leave it in the comments below because that's fucking gross in my mouth. I'm not doing that, and I'm not fucking telling you ever to subscribe. No, don't subscribe to this channel. Dude, if you want to subscribe, you're going to subscribe. Everybody fucking knows where the subscribe button is. I'm not going to cloud up my screen with a bunch of subliminal messages like you're a fucking retard. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. I think the world's gone mad. So, but tonight, I did want to say thanks to Eyeball. Thank you to Vinyl Vixen and Slim Sheddy. And thank you, Justin Pate. And thank you, Shane, for letting me use half your booth, which was awesome with your badass dog. And thanks to Ruggs for being like, oh, yeah, sure, go ahead, set up some cameras right there. Dude, that is so cool. So I really appreciate you guys welcoming me into the family, because I was living in a hole for like 5 years and thought I was the only one that ever did graphics. I mean, I knew that wasn't true, but I didn't know how to find you. But I found you at RapsCon. So thank you. And for all of the people that I forgot to thank, I'm really sorry. So I want to tell you where I came from. As far as the rap industry goes. Because there's levels to these kind of answers, you know? I don't know where my... You need a tamper. You need a good tamper when you're doing a tobacco pipe. Hold on a second. Well, when you lose them, you can use a pen. So, here's a little bit about me. I was born in Detroit area. I'm a like a spoiled suburb brat that worked his ass off and wished that he didn't live in a really expensive house. So everybody thought that he wasn't who he was. So anyway, you'll catch on to that at some point. My family's really big into architecture. Rossetti Architects, that's my cousin. You can see him. This is awesome. Sorry, Matt. I hope this doesn't ruin your branding image, but yeah, Matt Rossetti is my cousin for Rossetti.com. 2 S's, 2 T's. He's an architect. 4th generation. I think he's 4th generation now. I think he was 3rd generation for my great-grandfather. Started that. I didn't want to be an architect. So I was like, I'll go to school for construction. So that's what I did. I went to school at Fair State, and I got my degree in construction management. It always takes 3 times to light a pipe. And I haven't really been doing it right with timing, and I still haven't gotten to the 3rd one. So you're just going to have to wait a minute. And you know what? It's okay for you to just stop for as long as this takes. Slow down, chill out, be okay with the silence. Learn how to be okay with the silence. Not a bad idea. I got to meet Jeremy Connor, too. He made me happy inside. That motherfucker's got a heart as gold. And I hear he's pretty good at wrapping cars, too. So, after college, went and got my construction management degree. And then I went into construction management. And I used to, I was a superintendent and an estimator and project manager for commercial construction companies in the Detroit area. And then after a couple of years, one of my old bosses says to me, "Hey, you should come work for the bank." I was like, "The what?" He goes, "You should come work for the bank." Well, okay. It was Bank One at the time. And then the other bigger guy bought him out. And that's a little treasure hunt if you want to go look it up yourself. So I ended up getting a job doing construction risk management. So when there's construction things going on, I was managing the risk and letting everybody know how much money could go out the door and blah, 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 blah. Fast forward 12 years, and at least, I don't know. There's a lot of shit that I did that I thought would probably, I'm not sure if that qualifies as a business. Like I did this internet marketing thing for like 6 months. I did like day trading. But I wouldn't call that really a business. So I'm not sure how many, but I certainly failed at least 8 legitimate businesses before I quit the bank. And that was horrible. That was like 150, at least 150. I'm trying to be conservative. It was at least $150,000 of money that I didn't have because I dumped every fucking penny I had, not into liabilities. Liabilities take money out of your pocket. Assets put money into your pocket. So don't buy liabilities. I mean, unless you're like small percentage of whatever your income is. Got to have fun in life, right? You only get to do this once, maybe. So dumped all of that into there. Went through a whole bunch of personal stuff. That's another podcast. And at the end of my banking career, I said I've been working from home a lot because I followed Tim Ferriss's rules in the 4-hour work week. He had this little plan. It was fucking brilliant. He said, do this. If you're in an office position, what you should do is you should try to give them a proposal so that you can work from home and get more control over your time. And then with that other time, work on your muse business. The muse business is the one that gets you out of wherever you're at whatever level. There's tons of levels, and they're all pretty much the same because it's relative to what you knew and what you think you want. It never changes, no matter how much money you have. So all of those businesses fail. I get to the end, and I'm like, I need back surgery. It was really messed up. So that's a whole physical track of my life. That's another podcast. And I just decided, because I started a printing okay, so I used to own the most offensive t-shirt company on the planet. I'm not going to tell you the name of it, but I assure you, it was the most offensive t-shirt company on the planet. That was the goal, and I did it. The problem is people didn't really have the guts to wear the shirts that they loved, so they didn't buy them. I learned something. But I did learn I want to own a printing company because I should be printing my own shit. So I did that. And I thought it happens to me all the time. I go, hey, I think that this would be a good idea. And the ones that really resonate, they happen like immediately. All the time. All the time. So I thought I should own a t-shirt company. I need a printing company. And I went downstairs in the building that I was in to, I don't remember what the fuck I went down there for, but it's irrelevant. Because when I turned to the right, when I got down to the stairs of this little basement of this commercial building in this little tiny town, I looked over and I was like, oh, that's a big printer. And then I looked over to the left or the right of it, and I thought, I think that's a silk screen machine. And then I called my landlord and I go, hey, what are these things doing down here? What's this printer thing? What is this? This was 2013. What's this printer thing? What's this? He goes, well, one of these sign companies locally failed. So I was going, this isn't going to stay lit. Like I can't do both of these things. So he said he bought this stuff from, all the printers and whatnot from a failed or closed, who knows, printing company in town. And I was like, well, I got an idea. How about, since nobody's down here doing anything, how about I turn it into leasable space? I do the construction. I do all of the improvements so that even if I leave and it doesn't work out, you'll have more leasable space. And I also said, this printer that you're not using, it was a Muto, old as fuck, and a pain in the ass, that thing. I didn't know you had to run eco-solvent printers consistently or you would have problems with ink flow. I had no fucking idea. I learned that. So anyway, I worked out a deal with him, and I said, this is the amount of rent, and it includes you letting me use your printer. So, found a partner, because I was talking to a guy at the time, and he's like, sure, I'll come do it with you. That sounds cool. This was my final lesson in partnerships. For me, personally. I'm not against all partnerships. I think sometimes they work. But for me, I'm not very good at them. I'm good at strategic collaboration. I'm good at that. But this whole, I own half of whatever this is we're working on, nah. Shit's probably going to go south. I'm going to hedge my bets on doing it alone. Now, with strategic partners. Very important. Very important, because you can't never do anything big by yourself. We need people. We need other skills. We need a hive, Gotta make it work. That's why we're still here as people, because we could work together and use tools. I think they call that a tangent. Pretty sure that's what that was. He agreed to let me use it. So I went down there. And I was like, well, how do you plug this thing in? And what's this program do? And I'd never seen it inside of a sign shop. I have no fucking idea how any of this shit works. But I was like, I'll figure it out. I mean, it's a fucking printer. It's connected to... Other people use this, right? I guess I can figure it out. So I did. And then I would watch YouTube videos on everything like, what's this roll? They had this roll. It was like a roll here and then this roll here. And they called it a laminator. It's a Royal Sovereign. But it took me like 2 years. It took me like 2 years to figure out that I could mount all of my yard signs with the same tool. I had no fucking idea. I didn't know what this shit was. So what I did was this. I said, I'm going to say yes to every single job that comes in. Somebody would call up and they'd go, hey, can you make a banner for my daughter's birthday? Fuck yeah, I can. I didn't say that like that. I'm more of a professional, but we're having like a fireside chat thing here going on. So and then I would get off the phone every single time for like a year and go, how the fuck am I going to do that? I have no idea. But I put my business out there. It's on the internet. I'm a printing company. I was a printing company. I didn't even know that eco-solvent existed. Latex? What? Like, I had zero idea. So I called myself a printing company. Long story short, maybe not. Long story short, I said yes to a lot. My partner definitely agreed he doesn't want to do this thing. And it was a 45-minute conversation. We executed our operating agreement, as partners, and then I paid him off. So that's how that worked. And then I said yes to everything, having no idea what I was going to do. And I usually figured it out. It wasn't the best customer service or whatever. It wasn't the best, fastest turnaround time. It wasn't the cheapest. It was kind of shit, actually. Like, when I look back, but what I did was I worked really fucking hard. That's what I did. I knew that this job should take me 3 hours, but if I had to put 12 into it, then 8 of those, 8, 9, 12, 3. If 8 of those hours were just learning time, when it should have only taken 4, yeah, I changed it. It was 3. Now it's 4. 4. So that was the investment that I gave to the education, was the failure of the lost time, of it being messy. And if you want to be a good rapper in the beginning, or a good business person in the beginning, if you want to be good, you have to be willing to make a mess. You have to be willing to fail. And what helps the most is that if you actually learn from what you failed at. One thing I learned was, when it comes to vinyl, don't buy cheap shit. The time is the chunk. It's not the material cost. It's not, no. We all know that. It's the time. The time is the chunk. That's why people that rap good and they rap fast, those people that can shorten that time, they make more money. Time, that's the big chunk. So, along that journey, I went to RapsCon in 2016. It was the second year. I don't have any real data on. I should really look that up. But I think it was 16 or 17. I don't know. Somebody's going to probably correct me. So it was the second year that it was in Indianapolis. I went down because I thought I was a printing company. So I went down and they had all this other stuff about, direct-to-garment printers and silk screeners. It was the NBM show, way back then. So I went down there. And I stumbled into this room because I heard about this meeting. And it was rappers hanging out, vinyl installers. And I'd seen their one little booth over in the corner, and I thought, dude, I do graphics, to put the hours on businesses' doors and little logos, and I know how to make a decal now. But then I saw what they were doing, and I was like, that's fucking amazing. So I went up into this little room, one of those little breakout rooms. I didn't know anybody. And I sat there, 4 or 5 years ago. And I looked around at the crowd, and I listened very quietly, because I'm actually very shy in public. Until I get zoned in on one person, then I'm okay. But I'm not good with groups. I don't like it. So I'm sitting there and I'm listening really quietly, not saying much at the table. And I saw Frank Fellers walk in. I'll never forget it. His fucking big old hat and everything along. He's a goddamn cartoon icon, he is. Now, look at him. I mean, it's fucking awesome. He should own that shit. And he does. But I thought it was the coolest shit. And I heard about all these people with so many things, conversations I had no idea about. Like, it was so confusing, everything that they were saying. But I thought, I want to know how that vinyl does that. How can that vinyl do that? I've tried to do those kinds of things with my kind of vinyl, but I didn't know about the difference between calendared and cast. I didn't know air egress. I mean, up until it was probably 3 years ago, I thought that air egress was some small, tiny little microscopic holes in the vinyl and the air would come through the surface. I didn't know that it would have anything to do with the adhesive patterns that were underneath to allow air to escape. I didn't learn that until I went down to 3M. Thank you, Lowen. So I went to Lowen. Whatever. You fucking know what I'm saying. Anyway, I didn't know shit, but I was enamored. And I remember the first phone call I made was to Jeb at B5. And I was like, hey, man. You're kind of local because I'm around Chicago. And I was like, we should talk or whatever. Our orbits are coming together again. And watch it. Mark the date. I said that on June 23rd. It's coming. Because we've talked a couple times since then and, we're get together. But anyway, so I realized there's this really cool network. I wanted to get involved. And so I started to experiment with all kinds of materials by myself. And I got to be like, I got quality. Like, I know I can wrap quality. I knew that much before I went down and got my 3M preferred. That was my only litmus test. And I know there's going to be so many people watching this that have fucking 15 certifications. Awesome, dude. But I'm just talking about where I was at. And I went down to 3M to make sure that I could know what I didn't know that I needed to know. You don't know what you don't know. And the only way to know what you don't know is to find someone else who knows. And actually listen to what someone else knows that you don't know. That's very important. I mean, if you give a shit about growing, if you want to be better, if you want to make more money, if you want to be happier, then you need to know. So anyway, I got okay. I'm a decent quality rapper. I'm not fat. I've never felt fast. I've been faster than some people, but I've never felt fast. I have watched other pros, like these dudes down at RapsCon that were just there. I compete? No fucking way. I can't compete. Not in this crowd. Like, dude, there was legends and shit down there. Been doing it all the time. You've got to maintain, if you're going to be a rapper, you got to be rapping at least a little bit every week. If you don't, you lose a little bit of an edge. It takes some time to get back into the flow of the whole thing. So, if you're going to be a rapper, be a rapper. Anyway, I knew I wasn't going to be this master rapper. I knew that wasn't my path. Because, I'm a scatterbrain and I'm following something else. But I did know that I wanted to get it good enough because I knew that my little printing company needed a large ticket item. That's what got me there. It either needed to be like, I need a CNC router, or it was like, I need I need to do large wraps, or I need to get into channel letters, or I needed a large ticket item. Like, I wasn't going to be okay making it on Janet's banners for her birthday on Friday. Especially if I didn't want to punch babies before it was over. Because I'm not into that whole non-commercial stuff. There's too many emotions and last-minute things. Like, where's the professionalism? There isn't any. And you should deal with it if that's your client. Fucking serve the shit out of them. Just where they're at. But I wasn't good at that. So I went all commercial. And then I went down to Lowen and got my 3M thing. I know it's not certified, it's preferred. They beat that into your head, don't they? That, there's a difference. And for good reason, too. Anyway, I felt like I was going to move into doing color change wraps and kind of taking on the masses, the public, the individuals, right? So I started Zeno Wraps and quickly found there's tons of work out there. There's tons. There's so much. If you want to be a rapper, there's so much work for you. If you can work your ass off and provide value instead of take value only from someone, you have to give value. And in every single thing that you do, you have to give value. And as a business owner, it's a good idea to always provide more in use value than they give you in monetary value. That's what I love about wraps. I can sell you a wrap for $1,000, partial wrap or whatever. I can sell you a wrap for $1,000. I guarantee you, if your business is worth a shit, it's going to take 3 phone calls because of that, and you just paid for it. It's an investment. We should be able to charge 3 times as much as we do charge. But everybody goes backwards. They go from, it's this cost plus this cost plus this cost plus my profit equals price. How about go from, it's this valuable backwards, so that you're always giving them a better deal. And you could look at that and you go, yeah, but I mean, if we charge 3 times as much, I mean, look at my numbers. That's just the numbers, man. If your shit is worth it, charge for it. Or you won't be in business for very long. Maybe if you all charged more, and I know that I'm saying that to suppliers, equipment manufacturers, people that make printers and things. I know that I'm doing all that, and I'm all like, charge more. I understand how that could ruffle some feathers. But here's the thing. The point is, what we do in sign and graphics industry is extremely valuable. We can help a lot of businesses make more money for themselves. Like, how about not just do a door decal like everyone else? How about add just a little bit of a partial wrap that's got reflective in it? How about just represent a brand in a way? How about we take graphics and we elevate them? How about we be creative? How about we don't let our customers, unless they push us to, we don't let our customers let us be boring. I know, Jim, Dan, I know that you want this to look like this on your truck. And I understand you want the cheapest. Totally understand. But let's talk about the opportunity cost that's happening if you try to save money right here but you're leaving money on the table later because you're going to get more calls. Isn't it kind of financially irresponsible for you not to get a better rap than that? It's just numbers. Now, you have to be able to deliver. You have to be an amazing designer or have an amazing designer that works with you. You have to deliver a quality product. You have to do those things. But if you're going to do those things, why not help people see a bigger vision of what can happen when you take vinyl to a vehicle? Why not offer up to the office manager that just wants their name on their front door? Why don't you use some etched glass vinyl in here? You know what we could do? We could take your logo and we could like cut out patterns. We could do all this stuff and we could put that on your front door. That's going to change the customer experience as they walk in. That's going to help them tell a better story about their experience because that's what we want. We all want experiences. That's why we like the companies that we like, because of the experience that they provide to us. You can, yeah, sure. Go ahead and say, oh, well, it's just cheaper. Nah, it's not that. Nah. Oh, well, no. We are all searching for experiences, even if it's the experience of feeling like we got a good deal. There's that one too. But what we want is the experience. So I got to be an okay rapper. And I thought I'm going to start Zeno Raps. Underneath the Zeno company's umbrella. You can go to zenosigns.com, and that's my company. And then I had Zeno Raps, which we've now forwarded the domain and whatever, because I wanted to do something. I was like, there's so much need. I get calls like 3 a day. Hey, do you guys do roof wraps? Hey, do you guys do? Like, I was like, Jesus. Oh, fine. Okay, fine. I'll open one. I'll try it. And what I realized was, and the failure there was, and I like failure. So when I say it, there's zero negative in it. The failure there was I didn't realize that I would need a lot more installers to keep up with the demand that I could get them. And then I realized I don't have enough installers. And I'm not a master rapper. And I don't know shit about taking cars apart. So I feel like I ran out of resources. It was like, I can't meet this need. Math doesn't work. When the math doesn't work, fuck it. So when it comes to business, kind of, actually. Anyway, so I decided to simplify everything for me and my team, and I said, fuck it. I'm closing Zeno Raps down, and we're just going to go with Zeno Signs and go back to commercial. And then I got bored, frankly, when it came down to it. I think when I look back, I think that's what happened. I think I got bored. And I was like, maybe I should do like a podcast. Like, I've been doing music forever. I love a microphone. I love this. Like, if there was 5,000 people watching right now, totally cool. Love it, because I feel like I'm just talking to one person, and I feel okay with that. It doesn't. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. So, I told my wife. I go. This was like December, January. I go. So I was thinking about starting a podcast, but not now. I have too much other stuff going on. But maybe like 2 years. And she just looked at me. I'll never forget. She does it all the time. She looks at me and she goes, mm-hmm. And she's, mm-hmm. She knows. Like, when I start thinking about it, it's fucking over. So anyway, 2 months later, I decided to try to start this podcast thing. I go on this down this rabbit hole of equipment and how all this shit works. And then I don't know. It was one thing after another. And I mean, last month was fucking amazing. And I have to say to all 17 of you who have been recorded that are sitting in the pipeline, and I know eventually I can feel it. Like I can feel the question that's coming. There's going to be like somebody's going to fucking message me and they're going to go, "Hey, when's my podcast going to be released?" And that gives me a pit in my stomach. Like I don't like it. So I'm really, really pushing for it. But what I also realized, because I don't fucking know what I'm doing yet, I also realized that I need editors. I had one. He got like a full-time job somewhere else. And then I'm sitting in this pile of content. I have piles of content. Amazing shit. And I'm like, I need an editor. I was just a guy with a microphone that thought this would be a good idea at the time. Can I have some editing help? So I'm interviewing people right now. And I'm going to get some editors. And we are going to explode this motherfucker. So that is a little bit about my signing graphics business, where I came from. I just touched on a little bit of the mess. It was way messier than that. If you don't really need to be an entrepreneur, like if you have no choice but to be an entrepreneur, because an entrepreneur is a personality style. It's not a job. It's a personality style. You either got it or you don't. Period. I would love to argue with that one. So just leave your comments below. Anyway, entrepreneur. Let me tell you, after I failed over and over and over and over, I said, fuck it. No more businesses. I'm just going to get a normal job. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a normal job. And I had a normal job at the time. But I'm like, I'm going to keep this job. And I'm just going to keep a job. And I'm going to be fine. I'll put my money into 401k. And I'm not going to try anything anymore. I remember saying I'm not going to try anything anymore. 2 weeks later, I started a vending company. Because the numbers made sense. And then I got scammed out of that one. That was bad. Like, I got totally ripped off. You need to get ripped off once. Once. So make it small. Like when you're taking those risky things, get ripped off once. And then don't get ripped off again. You'll know what it looks like. Anyway. Point is, you cannot stop from being an entrepreneur if you're an entrepreneur. In the same way that you can't. I think it's really sad that I even have to fucking try to qualify this bullshit. It's bullshit. In the same way that you can't fucking argue if you're a man or not. Or a woman or not. And I'm talking like anatomically. You got a penis, you got a vagina. What do you got? Man, woman. That's it. At a biological level. Dude, I am totally a woman inside of my body. But I'm not going to say I'm a woman. You know what I'm saying? And yes, I'm totally heterosexual. Even though I look like a gay porn star, my wife tells me for some reason. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe it's the bald head and I'm not sure. Yeah, you can see how much I love the microphone. I really do. I could fucking do this all day long. Like, I really, really like to hear my own voice in my head. Like, I really, really like it. So if you can't help but be an entrepreneur, then embrace it. But if you are not an entrepreneur, don't feel bad about it. You probably don't want to be one. it's not an easy kind of go. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not what everybody thinks it is. It's a little bit maddening to have all this shit in your head. So if you don't have that, be grateful, move on, and master your craft. Whatever your craft is. You can be a business owner. Absolutely. You can be an amazing business owner and not be an entrepreneur. They're different. I promise you, they're different. There's people that are, and then you got the self-employed layer, but I'm including that with, anyway, read Cash Flow Quadrant by Rich Dad Poor Dad if you don't. And look, read a book. I'm serious. Read a book. Well, I don't really like to read. I like audiobooks. Read a book. Read. Well, that's not as efficient. I can get so much more. Read a book. Something happens when you go through the translation of watching these printed sigils, which is what they are, on these pages, processing it, slowing down. It's a different state. Read books. They can be on your Kindle. That's allowed. I'm just saying. Read books. I think that pretty much wraps it up. My goal here tonight was to tell you guys that RapsCon was awesome, especially after fucking 2020, whatever the fuck they did, all of that thing was. Whatever that was. To have everybody back and together was really, really nice. And I really just want to say thanks for taking this small town rapper and making him feel comfortable, even though I didn't know a lot of you. I really, really appreciated it. It means a lot to me. I'm actually choking up right now, but I'm not going to cry. Yet. No, okay. I did it. I got out of it. Anyway, thank you for that. But I did want to say, just to put it on record, that's a little bit of my story. And I really, really, I'm excited to see what's going to happen to this show. And I promise you, I'm getting editors. And it's going to be awesome. Thanks for joining. Yeah, I'd wrap that show.